some senior lawyers shared with Law Weekly their views on the legality and morality of the decision by Labour to shut down the national grid and other essential services.
On the part of the legality, the law is very clear that essential services are not meant to join in a strike to avoid crippling the economy. But again, even if the law says that, we also have to be conscious of the fact there are workers living under the harsh economic realities they find themselves. A man who has no food in his house and you are telling him that he works in essential services and shouldn't go, it doesn't make sense. So, if we're looking at the moral side, a hungry man is justified in taking to the street to protest the harsh economic condition. You can't take that away from him. But looking at the law or as it is on paper, essential services is far excluded from labor part of it that should go on strike. And that is what the law is.
For me, it raises political question. In other words, those who shut off the national grid also has political reason for doing so, and that is very unfortunate. Of course, some of us know that some member of a Labour Party are Labour leaders. It is contradictory. And that we are not talking about it is because we feel that perhaps it's minor, but it is becoming more pronounced. And therefore, there is need for us to talk about it. Personal interest must be separated from national interest. You don't shut off the national grid. If you go on strike and people have electricity, you save a lot of life and you give some people a lot of realization. By shutting off the national grid, a lot of life has been lost. In fact, even those of us who went on strike and supported the strike, we became restive because there is nothing to rely. You could not get access to water, you couldn't get fan, you could not even some other work. It is not fair. So my advice to them that next time they don't go on strike. If they do so, of course, the necessary legal provisions will be applied against them and they will lose sympathy. This time, perhaps, people are not saying it because we are not focused on it. But I think that they should get their advice not to shut. All workers in essential services should not go on strike when other people are going on strike. That is compliance with the law. That is my advice to them.
You are entitled to withdraw your services. It's one of labor rights. But I don't think you are entitled to punish others because you want to exercise your rights. Just like there's a cliche in law that where your right to fling your hands stops is where the right of somebody to defend his face. And I think for a long time it hasn't happened in Nigeria. And I think it's a new law for the labor union activists in Nigeria. I do not subscribe to that. And I think subsequent strike should not have recourse to shutting down of the national grid, as well as those essential services. They should keep a skeleton of those essential services on while they are embarking on their strike. That's my own view.
The labor has every right to shut down any part of the system that falls within its jurisdiction or scope. So if the labor shuts down the critical sectors, there's nothing unconstitutional about it. There's no part in the constitution that says that such critical sectors cannot be shut down. So it's part of putting pressure on the government, and whatever they can do to put pressure on the government, there's no law that stops them from doing that. It's part of putting pressure on government. We have been suffering inconveniences, so a week or 2 or 3 days will not kill us. So we should all be together in this thing. It's either we force the government to do what it's supposed to do, or we shut down the system. So if Labour decides to shut down the critical sectors, it's a part of pressure on the government to do what is right.